Will be taking up the topic, do judges make law or do they declare law? Now, when we talk about this aspect, it is very important to understand that what is the role that is played by the judiciary in setting the principles that forms a guidelines to make law. So when you're talking about the functions, we are talking about the role of judges. The question comes up: is it the function of judges to make law, or as it exists, or to declare law as it exists? To say that are they adding to the existing laws, or are they declaring only to the existing laws? Right? Because when we are talking about this aspect, we are talking about the Indian constitutional scheme, where we need to understand, are judges making law or not? And if yes, an answer is yes, whether such lawmaking power is at par with the legislature's power to enact or not. So the first question that is there that we need to answer is that, do judges make law or do they declare? And if the answer is that they are making law, then the next question comes up whether they are at par with the lawmaking powers, that is the legislatures. Okay, and we need to understand in this aspect that what is it that we are talking here about? Are we talking about the primary functions, or are we talking about the secondary functions of judiciary? Because when we talk about judiciary, we say that yes, they play an active role, wherein they are interpreting the existing laws, and they are laying down new laws that helps and that provides guideline for the legislatures to enact new laws. I hope you will agree with this thing that yes, there is this aspect of filling up gaps by the judges. So, what is judiciary doing? Judiciary is looking out the loopholes and filling up the gaps that exist in our existing legal system. So for this, there are, in order to understand whether they declare or they are making laws, there are two theories. One is the original or creative theory of adjudication. Second is declaratory theory of adjudication. Now, creative theory of adjudication is that theory that supports the aspect that judges are making law, and it is supported by various scholars who belongs to mainly analytical school, and this aspect is also being supported by realistic school as well, that I'll just explain in the next slide, coming slides. So when we are talking about original creative theory of education, we are saying, what is it being stated, what is it being debated? It is stated that judiciary is playing an active role, and they are not declaring, they are making laws. And who are the scholars who support this theory, like Bentham, Gray? They say that judges produce law as much as the legislatures are making law. So what are they doing? They are placing judges, judiciary at par with legislature. Whereas on contrary, we have another theory, which is declaratory theory of adjudication. Now, declaratory theory of adjudication is stating that judges are not making law, they mere declare them. They are not there to alter the laws. They are only there to fill the gaps, to provide certain guidelines, directions that can be taken up, that are taken up as the as law, but they are not legislations in strict sense. They are not the ones who are making the laws. They are merely declaring, and through that declaration, what are they doing? They are filling up the gaps that are existing. So who all were there who supported this thought process is Coke, Hale, Blackstone, who were convinced that the office of judge was to declare and interpret the law and not to make it. So through that interpretation, what is judiciary doing? Judiciary is filling up the gaps. They are making sure that what is the need of the society, that has been taken care of. So it is something which mainly reflects to what historical school has stated, that we need to understand that what is the need of the society. We need to develop with the need of the society, and what are judges doing? Because we say that a common law system exists, is that system where we give more focus to judge-made laws. So they are focusing more on the common law system, where judges are playing. Sorry, this is common law system is what is supported by analytical school. Okay, I'll just correct myself, because it is talking about common law system that states that judges make law, and it is through the interpretation, it is through the judges making who are interpreting the laws. They are making laws. This is under analytical school. Okay. Historical school says that we need to study the society. We need to know that what is the society, and then we can lay down the laws. But what is judiciary doing? Judiciary is only filling up the gaps that are there in the existing society, in the existing setup. So it is mainly supported by historical school of jurisprudence. Now here we need to also understand that what is it that has been given by realistic school of jurisprudence. Now they say that that when we are talking about law, it is a command of a judge, considering him supreme for the purpose of setting law in the legal system. Now, realistic school also support this thing that judges are the highest authority and they are the supreme authority who have the power not only to interpret law but also to lay down that what law should be. Okay, and they say that law can be properly understood or defined in terms of judicial process only. That what we are saying, what how law we can say that this is the appropriate law. We have to interpret the law, and we have to define it in the terms which is more appropriate to the existing situation. So judges are doing what through interpretation. They are coming out with solutions. They are coming out through with the in the manner of guidelines, directives. They are putting they are giving an answer to what loopholes to the needs that need to that are required in a given setup in a given legal system. So what realistic school says that law on paper and law in action are distinct from each other. Now what is law on paper? Law on paper reflects to the aspect of legislation. That is, we have statutory laws. Law in action means that how it is implemented. Now here you need to understand that again and again I'm saying this thing that here you need to understand these two principles: procedure established by law and due process of law. So when we are talking about procedure established by law, it is reflecting the state of affair where we are dealing with law on paper. We are dealing with statutory law. We are which that reflects the intention of the legislature as to what law is. Whereas law in action is talking about the principle of due process of law, that what law should be in a given situation, even if that has been the intention, even if the intention of the legislature is this, but through interpretation we need to take out the true interpretation of it, the true implications of it. So law in action is different from what is law on paper. Sometimes law on paper is violating your rights. So in order to protect these rights, it is required that law should be put in action. It should be interpreted in such a way that your rights are protected. And judiciary is a guardian of your rights. It is a medium through which your rights are protected. This is the basic function of judiciary, right? Adjudication. Why adjudication? To protect your rights. So what role is judiciary playing? Judiciary is playing the role of guardian. Is it clear? So realistic school is again the school of jurisprudence that support this idea that judges are making laws. They are not declaring laws, but they are making laws. Now, when we talk about this theory of originality and declaratory theory, we'll just look into it as to what they are talking about. So when we are saying we need to understand that theory of originality, saying that they are coming out. We have various examples of theories where we say that yes, judiciary has played a role of making law. That is, they are creating law. There is original decision which has been given by the court. Now we have various examples, like for example, you have Vishaka case where the guidelines were laid down by the court for to avoid any kind of sexual harassment of women at workplace. So it was a case that was introduced for the first time before the court, and court has laid down the guidelines for the first time. So what is it? It is original. What is declaratory? I'll explain you that also. So what is original? That it is something that has been taken up by the court for the first time. Okay, so we are saying that yes, they lay down certain rules and principles that are adding to the existing laws in the society. So Dicey supports this aspect, and he says that it consists of rules and principles that are to be derived from the judgment of the court. So the law that is there, the law includes such rules and principles that are derived from the judgment of the court. Because talking in scenario 2, what exists in England. Okay, England being a common law country, Dicey has stated what exists in England is the common law system, and under this we need to derive these rules and principles only through what the judges have stated. Okay, and Gray says that whoever have the absolute authority not only to interpret the law but to say what the law is are truly the lawgiver. So Gray is supporting this aspect. What is Gray saying? That Gray saying that whosoever has the interpretation, now legislature is what role? They are laying down the laws. But whether that these laws are appropriate, are justified or not, whether they are violating their fundamental rights or not, who is doing that? Who is playing this role of interpreting? It is the judiciary. Ultimately, who is deciding their validity? It is the judiciary. So Gray says that they are the true lawgivers because they are the ones who are deciding the validity of a law. It is ultimately the judiciary who will look into this aspect, whether a particular law is valid or invalid. Is it clear? So, and again, another scholar who supported this is Salmond, who stated that precedent not only declare but make law. So when we are talking about these precedents in form of case laws, what is Vaishakha done? What has Vaishakha case done? It operated as law until the act came into force. On the basis of the guideline, every institute, every organization was supposed to have a committee, so that we can look into the cases of sexual harassment. So what are these guidelines and directions that were given by the court? That were law. Till the time the act was enacted, nobody was allowed to violate the directions that were given by the court. If these directions are violated, it calls for action. It calls for compensation, penalties. Is it clear? So what court has done? Court has made the law as per the theory of originality. So what is theory of originality doing? They're supporting this aspect that they are not declaring, they are making law. Okay. So, but there are few criticisms are that they cannot overrule the statutes. That is, they cannot alter them. Ultimately, it is the legislature who will come out with an act, who will introduce any kind of who will repeal them, amend them, right? Any existing law, any statutory law which exists, if there is any change that has to be introduced in that particular law, it is done by the legislatures, and it is through the proper procedure, right? And so what is it? They, on what basis they are saying? They are saying that it is only they are the interpreters. They are not the law making bodies. This is their secondary function, not primary function. The primary function lies with legislature. So on this basis, the theory of originality has been criticized. But when we talk about another view, that is the declaratory view, where it has been stated that they are declaring. What are they doing? They are making law. Clear? So what theory of originality is saying that they are making law, and declaratory theory is saying that they are only declaring, they are not making law. Now declaring means, another thing that you need to understand is that whatever is there in the statute, they are interpreting it. Now, so far as they go with what has been stated in the legislature, in the statutory provisions, again here you need to keep in mind that they are following, if they are declaring what they are following the principle of procedure established by law. And if they are creating, right, that is the original theory that is there, what are they doing? They're following the principle of due process of law. So here declaratory theory says that they are bound by the statutes. They have to interpret the statutes. They have to look into it, that what a particular statute is stating, and then they declare their decisions as per what is given. They're not somebody who is laying down law, who is altering law. They are the ones who discovers the law and then they declare it, but they are not making it. Making has been taken up as in literal sense. That means that laying down the law, which is, and who is making the law? It is the legislature. So they are not the legislature. They are not performing the functions of legislation. They are performing the function of adjudication. And what is adjudication? Adjudication means to declare law, to interpret law, to discover what law is, right? That is a different thing. That legislature takes up this on duty of laying down an act, enacting a provision with respect to that particular provision, the declaration that has been made by the judges. So the declaratory theory says that when this is one that has been supported by Blackstone's and others, and they say that common law consists of general customs derived from the decision of the courts. Now, these judicial decisions are the principal and authoritative evidence for the existence of customs forming part of common law, right? Judicial decisions are not absolutely binding. They can be disregarded when they are absurd or unjust. Now, declaratory theory is talking about this aspect that they are not binding. They say that they are only declaring it. But I would like to, would like to know this thing. I would like all of you to think over it, that whether they are declaring the theory, they are declaring the law, or are they making the principles, guidelines that are laid down by the judiciary, are they not binding or are they binding? What is it that we take into consideration? So here we need to understand that what is the position in India. Now these are two theories, okay, fine. That declaratory theory says that they are declaring, not making law. Original theory says that they are making law and not declaring. Now, but what is the position in India? What role is judiciary playing? Judiciary playing a very active role in India. So when we talk about this concept of judicial review, it has enabled the judiciary to play a very important role, because they are not going with what has been written down by the legislatures. They go beyond that aspect, they go beyond that level. That is why we say that they exist, and this change that is there was seen in this case when we talk about Menka Gandhi, Gopalan to Menka Gandhi. So this is one of the case where court has given a interpretation to constitution where the court has not taken up what is laid down by the legislatures, but has gone beyond it in Menka Gandhi case by stating that we cannot infringe, we cannot violate the principle of natural justice. Even if the law is stating something, but that law is taking away your fundamental right, you are not given right to an opportunity of being heard. That is the infringement of your basic rights. How can you punish a person without hearing that person? So it's an infringement. So court has done what? They have deviated from what has been written down by the legislatures and given their own interpretation. So when we talk about what is the position in India, we need to keep this in mind, that judiciary is playing a very active role in interpreting law, in declaring law, and yes, they are very important medium in making law. They are not the makers, but yes, it is an important medium through which laws are made. And this, you can see that there are various examples that have been taken up in various cases that have been taken up by the judiciary, and there are changes that have been introduced. The best example that you can take up is Navtej Singh Johar case. All of you have done this case, you know this case, what the case is all about. So what is it the court has done? Court has given an interpretation to section 377 and thus making it constitutionally valid to the extent of if it is a consensual sex and it's not a natural sex. So what has court done? Court has given a wider interpretation to what the legislature intended to say in 377. On what ground? On the grounds that it is violating your fundamental right. Your right to life is been violated. Is it clear? So what is we are talking about? That this judicial review that we talk about, there are various articles from where the court derives this. Article 13 that we have already discussed. 32, 131, 136, 143, 226, 246. These are few articles. If where you read, you will go through, you will see that yes, courts have been given wider power of judicial review. They can review what has been given by the legislature. Further, Article 141 that we'll take up in the next class, that says that Supreme Court is not bound by their own decisions. They can deviate from their own decisions. Very well we know, in the same example I'll give, Suresh Kumar Kaushal versus, that has been overruled by the court in Navtej Singh Johar. Both the cases are Supreme Court judgments, but the benches differ. So these are few articles where the power of judicial review is been given to the to judges, and from these we can derive that yes, they are playing an important role by laying down certain guidelines in the form of what? By laying down guidelines, principles, directions that operate as law until a formal law is implemented by the legislatures. So what is it? They're not encroaching, but what are they doing? They're facilitating, they are bridging up the gap that exists in our legal system. Clear? So there are other cases also like P. Ramchandran, where the primary function of the judiciary is to interpret, to lay down principal guidelines, to exhibit creativity in the field of left open, to remove the obvious lacunas that are there, right? But they're not entering into, they're not barging into the field of legislation. They do have this function, right? These functions, primary functions, are this, and what is these functions doing? They're bridging up the gap. They are filling up that gap that is there in the legislation. They're not barging in, right? So there, an important role is played by judiciary in our country when we talk about, and this is a very good citation which is given by Justice Bhagwati. I'll be uploading the PPT, so please kindly go through this the observation which is made by Justice Bhagwati in University of Kerala versus Council of Principals of College, where Justice Bhagwati has given that what role is played by judiciary, that this is a living organism that exists in our legal system, which is giving value to the existing laws, which is interpreting the laws, which is giving some additional importance, or you can say understanding to the existing laws. So kindly go through the observation which is given by Justice Bhagwati. This I've already told you that from Gopalan to Menka, it is one of the thing where you should keep this in mind, that there was a shift from the principle of procedure established by law to due process of law. And this is what explains that what is this current situation, current existing situation in our country. Clear? So what is it? What we can say that how it has been taken up in India? It is both are partially, we can say that partially both things are true. They also declare, they also create. We have examples where judiciary has decided a particular case for the first time, or has introduced some new laws in form of guidelines, principles, directions. And yes, it is also true that they do declare law by interpreting them, right? So it depends upon that what the case is and what is it that we are looking for. Is it the infringement of our fundamental rights that we are claiming? Then court comes up as a guardian to protect your rights. So judicial review is very important. Why? To maintain that checks and balances. And yes, judiciary is playing an active role in making sure that statutory laws are implemented properly and they are not violating any fundamental rights that have been given to the citizens. Right. So here we can say that yes, both they are not encroaching, but yes, they are facilitators. They are facilitating in what law should be, but they are not the ones who are in truth, in literal sense, are laying down laws. Is it clear? So here I end our lecture for this topic, that is, do judges make law? Do go through the PPT that is there, and just come back with the doubts if there are any. Okay.